Ow.
Alright, today's video, you just saw me take apart the T-tops a little bit. That's because we are going to be tinting these today. Now, it is summertime right now. I don't know where you guys are, but right here where I am, it is friggin' hot. It is like hotter than Saint's asshole after eating about 5 gallons worth of chili hot. And I'm cooking. And these T-tops, if you have them on your car, it's a glass roof. They let through a lot of heat. Same with sunroofs, all that stuff. Let's try and put a little stop to that for right now. Now, first of all, if you notice this, there's these T-tops are kind of like mirrored a little bit from the factory, but you know, you can see right through them. There's not much to them. Now these are early 3rd gen T-tops, but I think they're slightly different shape than the later ones, but the process will still be kind of similar. Now, there are, for these cars, they make the kind of factory style inserts that look like a bit of headliner that kind of sit up here and stick to the T-tops to kind of keep the sun out. I think you're kind of losing the purpose of a T-top there if you have the sun being blocked out completely. Might as well just get a hard top. And also, a lot of guys will maybe make something out of hardboard for this, or they'll just spray paint these things a color. Again, you're missing the purpose on having T-tops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tint it. I got this tint. It is 5%. It is ceramic. Okay, they have like 3 different qualities of tint. You have dyed, which is the lowest quality, which is just a color. Then you have dyed metallicized, which blocks out a little bit of heat, and then you have ceramic dyed tint that blocks out the most heat and you still see through it. First of all, I'm just going to say this: get 5% and don't bother. If you go anything lighter than 5%, it's not going to do much anything. Just get as dark as you can, because it doesn't matter, you can tint these as dark as you want. For this, I have the tint. You need a squeegee or something to flatten it out. I have a Bondo there's a putty knife. There's a Bondo putty knife here I'm going to use for that. I've got a scraper, an extra blade in case I need it, a mostly lint-free cloth. I got some alcohol, got a blow dryer in case the tint gets crinkled up. But mostly I'm going to use this to try and blow all the shit off of this before I put the tint on, because I'm doing this outside, just, you know, under cover. I'm not inside a shop or even in the garage where it kind of keeps down on the dust, so this isn't going to turn out perfectly, but this is what I'm going to be doing. I also got little paper towels to try and clean this up a little bit, and some tape, because the most difficult part about this is getting the liner off the back of the tint film. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain the process, is I'm going to clean this all up, you know, clean off, get the oils and everything off or whatever. I've already kind of cleaned this a little bit. Let me show you how dirty the other one was. It's still in here. See all that funk film on it? So what this is like. I'm going to clean this up the rest of the way. I'm going to take the film. I'm going to have it kind of end kind of right here up against this this epoxy that they use to attach this to here. I'm not going to cut it back in here, but I'm going to come here and then I'm going to go all the way up along this seam edge. Here is where I'm going to cut it off. Since these are, you know, at a slight curve, I'm going to kind of cut it oversized, just squarish as much as possible. So I'm not going to cut it too close to this, because you know, if you do that and have it flip the wrong way, by the time you go and put it on there, then it won't fit. So I'm just going to kind of cut a square. I'm going to lay it out with the stuff. Oh yeah, before I say this, you need a squeegee, or sorry, a water bottle, and this is filled with dish soap and water, and that's to help the film slide around. So I'm going to cut it out after I got this all cleaned up. I'll spray it all down, get it clean, put the film on it, cut it, then try and pull the backer liner off, which is where the tape comes, and pull that off, and I'm going to flip it over, put it on here, and then lay it down and start squeegeeing the water out, and then I'll cut it to size. So that's going to be the process, and I'm just going to show you me doing it. I'm going center out as much as I can, and this will take some pushing. I lubed up the back here,
If you want to
obviously.
travel with your kid,
What the hell?
but don't want to share your kid's bed,
Fucking YouTube ads. I'm freaking dying here. All right, what I'm doing, going around, is I'm just holding hot air on the back side of the window, and I got this sitting vertically because I think I put down way too much soapy water. So I'm trying to get that all out. So I'm holding it vertically, wetting this, and then I'm pushing down on the film itself and keep pushing and pushing and pushing until the window's getting hot enough to where it kind of dries up the water and the film shrinks a little bit. So that's just what I'm going to be doing the rest of the way around. I got a finger here that's just not going to come out. Oh well. I'll get back to you when this one is kind of done. Okay. Obviously tinted, untinted. I don't know if I'll be able to pick them up and show you kind of through them. I'll probably have to reposition that and get a different angle somewhere. Okay. This is my first time doing this. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the easiest thing, but I did learn a few lessons. First of all, where I laid the film on here, that was good. I should have, before I start really squeegeing it out, just kind of get position and cut this down to size closer. I also learned that I can't butt it right up against this joint because it doesn't let enough of the water get out from underneath it to get it to sink down. It would be easier to do this if you could set it at vertical or at some sort of an angle, as opposed to trying to smear it out here at the bottom, because I don't know, can you see? I mean, I've got some bubbles in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. I've got some bubbles in there. I'm gonna have to let this go sit out in the sun and hope that the sun helps me get this out. But what I will do for the next one is, like I said, I'm gonna lay the film down, get it mostly positioned, cut it down to a much smaller size, like closer to this, and then start spreading the water out. And I'm also going to stand it up vertical as much as possible while I do that. Get it out. I use the blow dryer on the back because even though these are pretty flat from like compared to like normal car standards, normal windows, it still has a curve to it, so it's still giving me fingers, like creases that go all the way around. Like I got one right here. I couldn't get that all the way out, so I actually, what I did is I kind of took a razor blade, nicked the bottom of it to allow me to get the air out because it was just trapped in there. Get that as much as possible, and hopefully when this sits and bakes in the sun for a while, it'll kind of take care of this and help me get the rest of these spots out. I'm trying to show you them, but I don't know if you can see them or not. But yeah, I mean, this isn't perfect. I wasn't expecting perfect. Honestly, I don't really have these in the car like ever because it just sits in the garage with these out, so I just kind of mainly pop these in if I'm parking the car and going into some place for a while. But other than that, tinted, untinted, cooking, chilling. So yeah, now I'll just do the second one with the techniques that I learned doing this one. I'm sure a lot of people will tell me I did everything wrong, and if you're a pro or someone who has done this before and you got any tips that can help people make it a little easier, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm not above learning how to do things better because I'm no expert. But yeah, so that'll do it for today. Try and keep the sun out of your car. Try and stay a little cooler. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks for watching. Okay, I've kind of got them overlapping here. Probably won't be able to see from up here, but you can see through there. Can't see through there. I'm assuming you're gonna be able to see them at the bottom. So that is factory no tint. That is with the tint. So you can see the difference there. Hopefully, I'm holding this camera up here. This part may not be making the video because I can't see it. But that compared to that, so it should keep your car a lot cooler. All right, guys, later.